All right, Larry Krueger from the Krug Show, the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as Brian Baldinger breaks down how horrible the 49ers were against the Houston Texans. And they were bad, man. The 49ers were really bad in this game. They got embarrassed, thoroughly embarrassed throughout the game, and they looked really bad throughout the game. And let's hear from Baldinger. The one thing that was really clear was that Will Anderson just kicked Colton McKivitz around. He dominated McKivitz. Anderson had a sack. He had 3 quarterback hits. The Texans held McCaffrey to 25 yards rushing, 43 yards receiving. And McKivitz even said it in the postgame. He said he was strong. He got the better of me today. We ended up being on the sideline for 2/3 of the game. It's frustrating when it's 3 and out. After 3 and out, you don't get any rhythm. But that's what happens when you get your butt kicked. And here's Brian Baldinger illustrating how the Niners offensive line was pathetic in this game.
I will never understand this protection, especially in Houston with that animal out there, Will Anderson. How can you pull Hennessy right here to block Will Anderson? Like, your quarterback is going to get crushed. Like, watch this guy take off. Like, look at McKivitz right here. Like, he's already turned. It's over. Like, when you see your tackle turned like that, it's over. He's going to get to your quarterback, and he does. Affects the throw. Now, you got some kind of, like, this is just a disconnect here. Togiai comes free. All right, they turn him loose right here. All right, Mac is, like, just under duress right now. All right, now, you can't do this. You cannot ask Juwan Jennings to block Danielle Hunter. You can't in this open space right here. Like, and Mac Jones, like, this guy's got 104 career sacks. Like, you can't do this. All right? That's what's going to happen. All right, now, you can't hear. You can't hear in Houston. It's 3rd down and 3. Like, you look at this right here, and look at how wide Will Anderson is. No help, short edge, and your quarterback is getting crushed. Like, you got to understand, like, this is Danielle Hunter, and this is Will Anderson. They need the win. They're at home. It's Texas. Like, even when you chip these guys, they still get to your quarterback. Like, I thought these guys are difference makers. You got to treat and protect your quarterback better than the 49ers did on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that jumps out, it's like watching the 49ers offensive line. It's like, what are you asking the offensive lineman to do? And right there, it's watching Hennessy pull across the formation, and then he's supposed to pick up Danielle Hunter on the other side. I mean, here's a guy that's barely played, and now he's got to cross the formation and pick up Hunter on the fly. I mean, that was never going to work. Asking Juwan Jennings to block a defensive end, he wasn't even on the right side of the defensive end. He was literally, if he was supposed to block him, he it doesn't take a genius to know that you need to stay between your man and the quarterback if you're going to be a pass protector. You can't be on the outside of the. I mean, what was Jennings even there for? Is he just going to push, the defensive end into the quarterback? I mean, the first trick of pass blocking is stay between your man and the quarterback, and he wasn't. So, I mean, that was doomed for failure. And then McKivitz was so thoroughly out over his skis, had too much to handle with Will Anderson. Did they help him? No. Did they chip Will Anderson? No. They just said, hey, Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, here's Trent Williams and Colton McKivitz, and we're not going to help. We're not going to chip. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to try to see if our guy stands up. And then you don't have an immobile quarterback. So you have an immobile quarterback. You have a defensive line that's clearly one of the best in football. And at one point, Hennessy doesn't block the defensive tackle. You're going to go combo block the other defensive tackle and give Togiai or whatever a running shot at your quarterback. It was such a bad blocking plan that Togiai thought they were screening. So he stopped running at the quarterback. He's like, oh, no, this is too easy. If they're letting me get to the quarterback this easy, then they're obviously going to screen me. But they weren't. It was just a MA. It was just a missed assignment. So I mean, the 49er offensive line is not good. Liars use stats and stats lie and liars use stats. Anybody who's going to tell you that the 49ers offensive line is good and uses stats to tell you that, they're lying to you. Um, Liars use stats. I can have a stat that will tell me any story I want to tell. So people who want to misrepresent the facts will use some kind of stat as like some proof when in reality, the offensive line, use your fucking eyes. The offensive line sucks. The offensive line is not blocking anybody. I mean, use your eyes. You have not been able to run block most of the year. Your quarterbacks are going down, and taking hits. Your quarterback coming into this game, Mac Jones, had taken 20 hits in the last 2 weeks. Don't sit here and use some stupid bogus stat and try to tell us that the offensive line is good. If you think this offensive line is really good, I would suggest you don't know football. And just because the offensive line, just because there are other bad offensive lines or there are worse offensive lines, doesn't mean this is a good offensive line. What you have here is you have a left guard who's way, way out over his skis. He shouldn't be playing. He's a rookie. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's hurt. So he's just getting absolutely destroyed. McKivitz is a mid-tier tackle at best. If you want to look at Trent Williams' numbers, we could play that game too. Trent Williams, it's easy to say Trent Williams, he's awesome. Trent Williams is not the same player that he used to be. This just in, Trent Williams has given up 24 pressures in 8 games. He gave up, just to put this in perspective, in 23, he gave up 20 pressures for the year. In 22, he gave up 19 pressures for the year. In 2021, he gave up 23 pressures for the year. This year, he's given up 24 pressures in 8 games. There's 9 games still remaining. So he's having a bad year. And if you look at the 49ers, Williams had the second highest grade, but, it wasn't like they were, this 49er offensive line was challenged and is challenged. Hennessy is inexperienced. Brendel's a bottom tier center. Pooney is hurt and has regressed significantly. McKivitz is having a good year, but he's a mid-tier guy. Williams is a top-tier guy, but he's at the end of his Hall of Fame career. It's not an awesome line, and the results speak for themselves. The quarterbacks have taken an inordinate number of hits. The 49ers have been unable to run the ball in most of the games that they're in. So I can bust out a stat, too, that says PFF says, watch the film. Here's Baldy on the Niners defense. And the Niner defense was awful in this game. Now, the 49er offense was bad. Don't get me wrong. But the Texans allow 14 points a game on average. The Niners scored 15. So they pretty much did what I thought they would do. I had the Niners winning this game like 17-9, 17-12, because I looked at that horrible Houston offense with Stroud behind a bad line that's especially bad on the left side with a rookie running back, 2 rookie receivers, and he's running for his life. And I'm like, oh, he completed 47% last week. All the Niners have to do is challenge their receivers, hug up on them, not give them any space, and they're going to shut them down. They're going to shut down the Texans, but instead they didn't. They played a soft zone. They got no pressure. And here's Baldy just ripping the Niner defense.
General observations about this 49ers defense. Like these linebackers are sitting there and catching blocks, and Chubb is going for 9. Like they just look like you watch this right here. There's Braxton Berrios. All right, it's 3rd and 11. Can you back up and give it up anymore? I mean, you missed a tackle. You try and keep him in front of you, and you give him the first down. Like even right here, you're going to overload pressure to the weak side right here, but then you're going to just press bail, and you just give the receiver too much room to work on 3rd and 7. Here we go. You're playing cover 1 across the board. All right, free safety, man-to-man. And here you go. Man-to-man across the board. Well, who's got the back? Anybody got the back? Anybody communicating? Because Woody Marks just went for 50. His biggest play as an NFL player. Again, they're just catching blocks here. It's too easy. They're just giving up big yards. Like if you go and take your own gap right here, like watch what happens. You're going to go and just try to make this on your own. Run around the center. Now you just open up that gap right to the free safety. I just thought there was too much of this. like even right here, like Marks is going to bounce this to the outside. Like nobody's on the edge. Nobody's setting the edge. And there goes Marks in a key spot in the fourth quarter for 23. I just thought they weren't sound defensively, didn't play like they did the week before.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just putting it mildly. I mean, Robert Saleh got badly outcoached in this game. You hear teams when they're talking, you hear people, analysts, when they're talking about good defenses, they'll be like, you know what? It's a defense that's really tied together. And it sounds like a generic comment. Oh, tied together. What does that mean? That means that the front and the back end are playing in unison. They're playing as one. So you're speeding up the quarterback and everybody's playing really tight coverage. Why send 5 or 6 guys at the quarterback and blitz him and hurry him up if you're going to play press bail and basically give up easy pitch and catch pass plays? That's what they did. Their defensive front and their defensive coverage were not tied together. They sat back softly all day. They got badly outcoached. They got badly out executed. I mean, what do you do? Why are you playing such soft coverage? Who did the Houston Texans have that's so fucking scary? Xavier Hutchinson? You think he's really scary? You think that's a scary receiver? I mean, you think Jalen Knowles a scary receiver? You think Jaden Higgins is a scary receiver? Is Dalton Schultz a scary receiver? They don't have a single receiver that can run by the Niners defense. And yet the Niners played soft coverage all night, just soft. Why send extra pressure and speed up the quarterback if you're going to play soft coverage and allow passes to be completed underneath? And then the busted plays, I mean, whether it was miscommunication, they had more than a few busted plays as well. So 49ers, I expected the Niners offensive line to get dominated, and they did. I expected the 49ers offensive line to really struggle and the offense to struggle, and they did. But I also expected the 49er defense to party against this very limited, challenged Texan offense that's horrible. And instead, they had no rush. They played super soft. There was no connection between their rush and their coverage. There was communication breakdowns, explosive plays given up. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. And Robert Saleh's defense better be better than that, or it's going to be a long second half. I know they've got some injuries. I know they've got some new players in there, but you can't speed up a quarterback and play soft coverage. This pathetic defensive effort reminded me of the Bengal game from a couple years ago where Joe Burrow, they tried to blitz Joe Burrow from time to time, and then they played soft coverage behind it, and he completed like 85% of his passes. And what did CJ Stroud do? He completed 80% of his passes in the first half, 76% for the game, carved up the Niners like a Thanksgiving turkey. They've got to be better than that. I realize they don't have Bosa. I realize they don't have Warner, but there's no excuse to not have your defensive front plan tied to your coverage plan. You have to work together in unison, and they weren't. They were all over the place. I agree with Baldy 100%. They were not sound. Busted plays, coverages that don't match the fronts, just guys running around. Just absolutely a lost, pathetic effort from the 49ers on the defensive side of the ball. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sleeper for sponsoring this video. 49er football season is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and of course, Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry, LARRY, and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions apply. Thanks to Sleeper for sponsoring this video. Thanks to the Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.